kind of wanted to talk about something, and this has been ongoing for a while, and I had already done a video on this that was about an hour's worth of shooting, but I usually cut them down and cut all the blank spaces out and all the missteps with my speech. But went to offload it onto the computer and gone. I kind of wanted to give my take on the whole Confederate flag thing. And this has gotten stupid. It really has. Okay, you want to take the Confederate flag down from the Capitol building in South Carolina or North Carolina, wherever it is. Okay, you win that battle. On part, I agree with that. Because I've seen other people's comments, and they were basically along the same mindset that I was. You really don't need it displayed prominently at a government facility like the state capitol or whatever. I mean, it's part of our history. It's no big deal. The only hate that's put in it is the people that perceive it that way. The rest of us is just part of our history. And I'm not going to say part of our heritage because, honestly, I was born in the North. Now, I was raised in the South. And I was taught a lot of the Southern ways by Southern gentlemen. And because of that, I respect people. And I treat them with respect. I don't care what color you are. I've got white friends, I've got black friends, black and white coworkers that I get along perfectly well with. I don't think any of them ignorant. The guy that's over me on my job is a black guy. I have a lot of respect for him. I mean a lot. Because for one, he's taught me my job. But he's also fair about things, which you don't find out a lot with most people. Most people get that position and it all goes to their head. The point is, I can understand not wanting the Confederate flag displayed prominently or at all at Capitol buildings, even though it's our history. One thing I want to tell all these people that are so gung-ho on snatching it down, because it's not just black people that want it snatched down. It's white people, Mexicans, and most of them are liberals, believe it or not. Who'd have ever guessed that? The people that actually started racism want it taken down now. I guess they're embarrassed of their past or something. And no, I'm not even underhandedly or behind closed doors racist. What you see on here is what you get. Don't like it, I'm sorry. Find somebody else to talk to. But you can't just start snatching the flag away from everything and everybody. They're talking about taking it off of the roof of all the Dukes of Hazzard cars. I got news for you. You take that off the Dukes of Hazzard car and it's not a Dukes of Hazzard car anymore. It's a poser. One that you halfway did the job, making it look like the original car from the series. TMC. And I think CMT have taken all the episodes of the Dukes of Hazzard off of the television. So nobody can get a glimpse of the rebel flag on the roof. How retarded is that? The flag is not... The flag's just like the guns. That flag didn't hate anybody. It didn't kill anybody. The only reason I'm so worked up about it is because it went overnight. It went to just astronomically stupid proportions. Am I in support of the rebel flag? Yes. I grew up with it. That's part of America's history. Again, I was born in the North, so it's not really as deeply rooted in my personal family's history as it is in some of the other Southern people. What tears me up is that I seem to care more about it than the people that were raised Southern. Now, I'm not thinking everybody should just run right out and buy a bunch of rebel flags and start throwing them up on their vehicles and running around town. Because that's kind of stupid. That's just as bad as the idiots that are jumping up and yanking them down off of the buildings and such. So that's another thing. I just saw and posted to my Facebook a story that my local news from Macon, Georgia posted about people in Sarasota, Florida going around snatching Dixie flags off of people's vehicles and off of their houses. I'll tell you this, the people doing it are living really dangerously, because one thing I learned early on in the South, you don't mess around in people's yards. They will shoot you. Some of them will shoot you and hide the body and not care. The people that are doing that aren't doing anything but stirring up hate. There wasn't any before. All this mess going on like this now is going to stir up hate. Black Panther Party come back out and they're talking about kill all the white people. Alright, then you got a bunch of white extremists that started up the KKK again. Guess what? They're scheduled to have a meeting at the doggone place where the Confederate flag was just yanked down from. And I guarantee you that's not the only time you're going to see it. All these people that are wiping their butt with the American flags and stomping on them. I mean, it's ignorant. It's completely ignorant. And for some stupid reason, all these people seem to think that that's funny or that's a cool thing to do. I'm completing a challenge. Let me tell you something about your challenges. They don't mean squat. You might get a bunch of views and this, that, and the other thing out of it on your little videos that you post on Facebook or whatever. You might get a ton of views on YouTube for all the stuff. Or somebody's going to steal your video and post it on YouTube and start making money off of it. Either way, that's going to last about 5 Minutes. Till everybody gets tired of hearing all the junk about the Confederate flag and this and that. Then once that fame's gone, then what? Let's say you go ahead and jump into somebody's yard and steal the flag off the front of their house or steal the flag off their flagpole. And one, they've got a dog that comes out and tears your butt up. And you're going to try and sue them because their dog tore your butt up in their yard. It's not going to work. Or, God forbid, you try doing it at night, trying to be sneaky, and somebody plugs your butt. Just drops a cap right in you. Not going to be anybody's fault but your own. And when your family tries to sue them, that's trespassing and theft. And not to mention inciting hate or a hate crime, because it works both ways, people. I don't advocate violence at all. But I guarantee you, somebody, if it was my house and I had that flag flying, which I don't own one. But if I had that flag flying at my house and somebody came in my yard to take it, you better hope you can sprint about 1,500 feet per second. Because if you can't, you're going to feel the pain like you've never felt before. Not just because I would value something like that if I had it, which if I had something like that, it would be put up. Because I don't believe in antagonizing people with it either. But you come in my yard to steal something, you better be able to run faster than either my rifle or my pistol can shoot. Because I've already shown a couple people. I got 10 shots in that clip, and I can empty it pretty fast, pretty accurate. What really gets me though is people are going on and on and on about the Confederate flag, the rebel flag, or Dixie flag, whatever you want to call it. The only reason they're going after them so hard is because they're supposedly a sign of hate. They're not, but that's what these ignorant people think. What they don't understand is they're claiming that it's a sign of hate because that's a flag that was flown in the South during a time when the South had slaves. Guess what? The North had them too. And they had them until well after the time of Abe Lincoln. The people that made the American flag had slaves on their plantation. The people that signed our Declaration of Independence were white slave traders. So now what? Are you going to start tearing down all the American flags you see and ripping them off of people's cars and houses and everything else too? You're going to tell the military they're wrong because that's what they stand up for? You're going to rip the Constitution apart? The very thing that gave you all the rights to act like a total idiot. The very thing that our country's defended in every war is our way of life that's granted to us by our Bill of Rights and that Constitution. Made by slave traders. So you gonna just throw all that out the window and start over? I'm gonna tell you something. You can take every piece of history that's everywhere in this country down, tear it down, burn it down, rip it apart, whatever. It doesn't erase the fact that all that happened. You can't change history by doing away with the memories of it. That's what aggravates me more than anything. And I'm also in agreement with all these people that keep telling me don't focus so hard on the flags being torn down or the gay marriage or anything else. You focus, pay attention to what's going on that you're not seeing all the time every day. There's something else going on. It's just a smoke screen for it. And I find that to be factual. Because everything else that's been done in this administration has been accomplished while some other distraction was going on. The Boston bombings. The Boston Marathon bombings. While that was going on, they're pushing part of the SOPA bill, or the I can't even. They've changed the initials for it so many times. I don't even remember what the last version of PIPA or SOPA. A lot of that was pushed through, a big chunk of it, while the Boston bombing was going on. And then when people started coming up and realizing the smoke screen that was being put on during the Boston Marathon, just to distract that, a propane plant in Alabama blows up. And it's funny to me, it was all over the news for about 5 minutes, literally. Not even a whole day. To distract you from the Boston Marathon bombing. Now, I haven't heard anything more. Dang it. I haven't heard anything more about that gas plant. I'm not saying it didn't happen, because you saw in the video it actually did. Of course, not like video hasn't been fake before too. Hollywood does it all the time. I'm really worried about the world we're leaving to our kids, because it seems like anymore, the more ignorant people can be, the happier everybody is. Everybody's a bandwagoner, which basically they just jump on whatever bandwagon or fall behind whatever cause is next, whatever appeals to them the most at the time. And you can't do that. I've heard several people say, if you've ever watched that movie, Idiocracy, and I've said it a number of times myself, it's not just a fantasy movie. That stuff's going on. And it won't be very long until the whole thing's a reality. People might look at it and laugh, or watch it and giggle because parts of it are funny, but it's more sad than funny, because if you watch it and look at how things are today, you see how real it really is, and it's sad. I've seen 4 different versions of somebody asking more than one person at a time the little thing of, if you're going 80 miles an hour, how long does it take you to travel 80 miles? And the people legitimately struggle. And I'm sitting there thinking, how do you people remember to breathe? Nobody listens. Nobody pays attention to anything. And it's mind-boggling how dumb people can actually be. How dumb they can act and be happy doing it. I mean, I'm no genius or anything. I'm not stupid, but I'm no genius. And I've never claimed to be. But I don't have to worry about people saying I don't have any common sense either, because they know doggone well I do. And all this going on right now, people are going to get killed, and I don't want to see that. Anyhow, hop in here real quick and grab some groceries for the house, because we're out of everything. No, I still haven't got my walk behind trimmer done yet, because I'm actually surprised it hasn't rained tonight. I could have actually got out there and done some of it, but I had to come up here. Whew! I'm running through that place like my butt was on fire. Because, start off with, I left to come up here way later than I should have. And well, that explains a lot. Lightning. It's fixing to rain here. Again. There we go. Okay. That's a little better. Something else to look at. Now, is it affecting me personally? Not really. I don't have one, but it's what I grew up around. It's what I grew up with. It's part of the history and culture that I grew up in. And a reminder of where we came from, what we've come out of, and a reminder that we don't ever need to do it again. That's what it really means to me. It's an anti-hate thing, not a hate. The hate comes into it when you start taking it away from people at every turn like they're doing now. And then you get the good old boys all riled up because now they can't just publicly display their flag anymore because a bunch of crybaby liberals think it's a symbol of hate, and that's all it is, because that's all it is to them. That flag ain't nothing but a piece of cloth. It's the people and what they project on it, or what they feel it is, that makes it a hate symbol. Well, since it's being taken away from everybody like it is, it's becoming a symbol of hate again. Because nobody likes being told they can't have something that they've had for a century and a half, and nobody's opposed to it. And the more people opposed to it, the madder the people get. I'm kind of that way with it. I'm upset about it because of the fact that it's been around so long. I don't hate people. I like the flag mostly because of the history and what it meant. I had my great-great-grandfather fought in the Civil War for the North and was imprisoned in the Andersonville prison in Georgia. And we went there a few times to try and find him in the list of names that they had. And of course, there's so many names there of people that were captured and died there, or captured, brought there, and then transferred out to other places. It's just unreal. You could search for years and probably never find them. And the more I got to looking through all those different names and reading all that different history, it was kind of fascinating. Some of the advancements that they had even back then. I mean, I'm a history buff anyway, but most of my history admiration is toward cars. But I do like to hear about historical sites and things of that nature also. Well, you're just not going to stay focused, are you? This stupid thing keeps focusing on the dirt on my windshield. Anyway, because of that fact, I'm going to make this really, really short. But yeah, you can't just take away somebody's right to something like that because a bunch of people are standing up crying about it. If they don't like it, it's a symbol of hate. That little kid and I say he's a little kid, yeah, he was 21 years of age, but he was young-minded and idiotic. What he did with going in that church and shooting those 9 people made absolutely no sense. The bad thing is, what he tried to create, the hate storm and the rioting and everything else that he tried to create, because of everybody jumping on the bandwagon for snatching all of the Confederate flags down in the whole country, he may actually get what he was trying to do. Because people won't leave well enough alone. It wasn't a hate symbol, but it is once again becoming a hate symbol because everybody's crying. They want it yanked down now. It don't matter that it don't mean anything to them. It don't matter that it does mean anything to somebody else. You got schools that are changing the mascots and their flags and their symbols and everything else. Companies that use that as part of their symbolism that have got people threatening them and sending them nasty grams and such like that, trying to get them to change the logos and this, that, and the other. It's not illegal to have a Confederate flag or even to display it. And I saw one video before I left the house of a guy that had the Confederate battle flag, the actual Confederate flag, the full-size one, and another one with the old black guy on it that's going around the country waving his flag, hanging out of the back of his truck, talking about how it means a lot to him because his great-grandfather and on fought in the Civil War for the South also. He's a black guy, and he's for the Confederate flag. There's actually several of them. That's the most recent one that comes to mind. But this gentleman had it on the back of his truck, flying them in as a display, basically just as a protest, his civil protest. He wasn't hurting anybody. He wasn't running around town honking his horn or hollering out the window, "Look at me," or "Yeehaw," or "Hold my beer," or nothing like that. He's sitting at a red light. And this ignorant person jumps out of his car or truck or whatever and just yanks the flags off the back of his truck. If I had one of those and I displayed it and somebody did that, they'd be getting shot. Not because it's the rebel flag or the Dixie flag or whatever you want to consider it, but because that's my property and you've got no business putting your hands on it. I wouldn't care if it was the Mexican flag or the English flag. If it's flying from my vehicle, it's my flag. If it's a sticker on my vehicle and you try to peel it off, I'll break your fingers. What's the guy do that owned the truck that had the flags? He puts it in reverse, starts to back up a little, and then just sits there. I'm sitting there thinking, no, you can tell that ain't around here. Because around here or down in middle Georgia where I'm from, somebody would have got whopped upside the head with an axe handle. He was in one of the old box Chevys that had the tattered paint job on it. I mean, it wasn't nasty, but it was faded out. Minding his own business. And most of those kind of trucks usually have chains or axe handles or pistols or rifles in them. And this genius jumps out of his truck and snatches them flags down. I'm sitting there thinking, oh, buddy, you better be glad it was him and not me. Come to find out it was down in, I think, Sarasota, Florida. So was the one where the kid ran up in front of somebody's house and snatched a flag off the front of the house. I'd have loved to seen somebody come out their front door of their house and just fill their butt with rock salt. I'm telling you people, it's gonna get nasty. And I'm gonna end end this here for now because I got another one I got to do later on. But all I'm saying, you don't have to believe in it. You don't have to look at it because they're taking it out of all the public places now. Leave the people alone that's got it. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not a symbol of hate for any of them. It's what they grew up with. It's a part of their history, something they know, something they were comfortable with. Most people I know that have and fly Confederate flags, most of them are a little on the redneck side, but they don't talk down to people. It doesn't matter what their color. They're decent people. And that's the way most of them are. I've gone through all black neighborhoods before with rebel stuff on my vehicle and never had a problem. It didn't mean I hated anybody that was there. Most of my friends growing up were black. I grew up in an all-black neighborhood. Our family was the only white family for 8 blocks in any direction. I couldn't have hate in my heart for the black people. I'd have been dead. Because we had some people that were, we had some black people that were racist on the street. It's an old black man that lived 2 doors down. They'd talk about you like a dog when you left if you were white. To your face, he was just as nice. And it didn't matter to me. I was still nice to him. I knew that's just how he grew up. People that lived right across the street from us, they were some nasty bunches. And they had hate in their heart for the white man. So needless to say, we stayed away from each other. But all the rest of our neighbors, all up and down the street, I'd go play with their kids or be out there riding bikes with them, riding skateboards, just whatever, all in the street, chasing each other around the block on our bikes, just having a good old time. Never had a problem. Race was never an issue. And that's how I've raised my kids too. I taught them to value people for who they are. And if they act like a bunch of idiots, then that's how you treat them then. Not racist, just treat them like the idiots they are. And I hope to God that that's what they've actually stuck to. I've never heard one of mine come off with a racial slur or some hate-filled statement about anybody, so hopefully I did the right thing with them, and they're all decent kids, decent people now. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and let loose in the comments with your opinions. I'm interested to see them. I don't want to see people fighting in the comments. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. We're individuals. That's what that means. We've got our own set of ideas. I don't belittle anybody because they feel a certain way. That's why I've got friends from high school still on my Facebook page. I don't belittle them, even though a lot of them have quite different opinions than me. That's their right. Who am I to judge them because they feel a certain way or they act a certain way? It don't change my life any. What do I care? It don't change how me and my family live any. I don't care. A lot of them are Obama supporters, even though I put comment after comment up against him. Because I'm absolutely not. I'm sure he's a great man, but he sucks like hell as a president. And I'll be so glad when the new new person takes over, because whoever it is, they can't do any worse of a job than what's been done in the last 8 years. That's all I'm saying. Oh, you piece of junk. Mountain's coming loose. Anyway, I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys for watching, and you have a great day.